they'll catch the replay. I want to just say thank you tonight for Alena Conley, Ambassador Diamond, joining us for our team huddle. Guys, I want you to get your paper and pen ready, and let's just, pick her brain a little bit. We've got a few questions that we've got for her tonight. But if you have anything else that you'd like to say and we have time, we'll try to get those questions answered, or we can take them from you at a later time. So welcome to our team huddle tonight, ladies. All right, so let's just kick it off with our first question here. We wanted to know, what are some tips on time management? When you're working multiple projects, you're parenting, you're full-time, can you give our team a few tips on how time management can play a part of this business?
Shaquita, real quick, I'm sorry, everyone. Just because we have a couple people that this is their very first team huddle of our Generational Diamonds team, can we just introduce Alena?
I did.
Alena, you can introduce yourself so that
they yes, I'm sorry.
Why this is such a big deal, so important, why they, getting the poetry snaps and everything for you.
Well, I'm no big deal.
We love you just the same.
Right. So hello everyone. Hello, Lovey. I always like when a new person comes full of energy. So welcome to you, and really hello to everyone on the line, because there are a lot of people who I recognize your name and your face, but maybe we haven't met. But as Shaquita said, I am Alena Conley. I have been in this business. It'll be 5 years next month. And when I started this team, it was a very, very small team. But back in 2013, we decided that we just wanted to create something fresh and something different, and really just expose people to a vehicle that was going to be able to give us the opportunity to leverage the company, the products, the compensation plan to really create lifestyles that many of us had not experienced growing up. So we decided to call this team the Young and Free. Mainly nothing to do with age at all. Young just kind of being a mindset. When I first started this team, one of the things that I found to be very common in the conversations I was having was that a lot of people had just really counted themselves out in terms of what level of success they could achieve, whether it was in their corporate roles, in life. They had counted themselves out to the type of wealth that they could accumulate, the type of legacies that they could leave. And my question would always be the same. And it would be, when you were a child and you had, life had not thrown you curveballs yet, you hadn't, had your first heartbreak, you hadn't lost your first job, what were the things that you wanted to achieve in life? What were the things, and who was the person that you wanted to become? And, they would immediately start just spilling out their heart on all of these visions that they have for their lives. And so we decided to bring in a young part to the team, because it really was a reminder that we constantly wanted to have this childlike mindset, a mindset where we really believed in the impossible, to just be completely frank. And so I have like this this desk weight that has a Steve Jobs quote on it. It says, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." And that was really a constant motto at the beginning of this entire process. Was a lot of people are going to think that doing something like this is absolutely crazy. Even people that have already paid the $99 still don't believe that it could unlock, a limitless living lifestyle where they can make millions of dollars, where they can have the dream home, where they can, travel the world. But I think that, when we start to transform the mindsets on this team, even if people, decide that It Works is not the best fit for them, or they decide to do other things, our goal is to always have people leave the building thinking differently about life. And then the free part of it just comes with all of the things that come along with it. So financial freedom, freedom of time, being debt free, just all wrapped in one. And so I have a very personal relationship with your leader. So Shaquita is actually my aunt. She's married to my uncle. So she's literally known me like for decades. It just kind of started out with some hair vitamins. I had just had Parker, and I was telling her I was trying to get some customers so I could go like triple diamond or something. And then next thing I know, she was on my team, and she's been here for almost 3 years. So to be able to hear her testimony with this business is always a joy, because it's exciting to know that you are positively impacting your family through something like this. When I was working my corporate job with JP Morgan, the most that I could do for my family or friends would be to pass their resume along to HR and hope that somebody looked out for me because of the relationship. But there was really nothing that I could do to help people to my left and my right and my family members create something lasting and real. And now I can. And then Kalana, we actually share our relationship on a virtual party a couple of weeks ago, but Kalana was actually, she was one of the executives at this firm that I interned with when I was still in college, and we just immediately clicked, and I actually used to babysit her kid while she used to do her Mary Kay presentations. And, it's so funny because it was maybe like 5 or 6 years later, we ran into each other in the bathroom, at the club, at Essence Fest, turning up, and I was like, ma'am, like, what do you know how to see what's like, you know how it is in the bathroom. And I was like, I had just started the business, but I had already started thinking about different people that I wanted to partner with. And when I saw her, the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh, shoot. She was like one of the first people that I had ever known to run a home-based business and be such a natural at it. So in the midst of me partying, all I could think was like, I need her on my team. So I didn't want to start picking to her in the bathroom, but literally I was like, we need to talk. I was like, I'm going to get your number. I know. I was like, I'm going to get your number. I'm going to hit you up on Facebook. And probably like a year later, she ended up joining my team. And now, I think she's been with me for 3 years as well. And to now see her to be able to create this life that is just so different than what both of us thought our lives would look like, kind of taking that corporate route and then really just switching the game up and really creating a life of freedom and fulfillment where we don't limit ourselves on what the possibility is. And I'm just so inspired by her journey. So I say all that to say, even though I'm the keynote speaker for tonight, you are definitely in good hands when it comes to being led by people who have been trained and coached by me, but who also have given me a significant amount of training and coaching as well in life. And so listen to what they're saying, heed to their advice, and know that like as they're growing in this company, you're coming along with them. So I hope that was a good intro. We could definitely get into these questions. Was that okay, Kalana?
Thank you. Yes, love. That was good.
So I know your first question was about time management, and this is something that I don't think that there's any right answer for, because just to be completely frank, all of us have different lives, right? Like some of us are single, some of us are married, some of us have kids, some of us have 20 jobs, some of us have 2 jobs. So it's one of those things where what works for me may not work for you, or it may work for you. I think that the best advice that I can give when it comes to time management is really understanding the concept of seasons, the concept of priority, and really doing your research on different methods of time management. Try them out and then figure what works for you. So let me talk a little bit about seasons. So what I mean by that is that in this industry specifically, network marketing is not one of those businesses where you can kind of do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit, every month and expect it to turn into $1 million business. It's an industry where you have to almost put 100% focus in for 90-day windows. And you may only have one 90-day run the entire year, or maybe even 2 years, but the top 1% of people in this industry say that the most significant amount of money that they've made in this industry come from their initial 90-day run or their repeat of a 90-day run, which basically means you and your team are gearing up to put all hands on deck to make this work. This was something that I read early on in my network marketing career in a book that I read called How to Be a Network Marketing Superstar. And they kind of compared it to an airplane. It was pretty like, it takes the most fuel, it takes the most energy on the runway to get the plane off the ground. And then once you hit, 100,000 feet, 40,000 feet, whatever it is, you kind of on autopilot. You have to kind of follow a path and do certain things to maintain that speed and that height in the sky. But the majority of the energy comes at the liftoff, right? And so when I read that, it really made me understand that I can't just be like doing this business like 10 minutes a week, like, and the thing is you can, but you're not going to build $1 million business. All right. So it's also important to decide out the gate when it comes to deciding your time management, what is the end goal? Because if the end goal is not $1 million business, then you may not have to do a 90-day run. You may not have to put certain things in place, but if the end goal is $200 a month, then yeah, maybe you can just put 20 minutes a week in. Maybe you can go blitzing one day out the week. So I think that a lot of times when it comes to time management, it's all about working backwards. It's all about defining what's the end goal and breaking that down into years, months, weeks, days, and minutes. What I do is month to month, I pretty much will say, this is what I want to achieve this month. And then from there, I start working backwards. If I say I want to enroll 10 distributors, typically I like to enroll my distributors during the first half of the month because that gives me a couple of weeks to really help them get their volume in case I'm doing promotions by the end of the month. So what that means is that the way that I work backwards on my time management is if I know I want to sign 10 distributors in the first 2 weeks of the month, the time that I guarantee or that I delegate to this business will be based on the time that it takes to recruit, right? So maybe one day out the week, I'm doing an opportunity call. Maybe another day out the week, I'm doing onboarding sessions. Another day out the week, I'm going blitzing. And then I have my daily activities. So I actually, there are a lot of things out there floating around. If you go to the Young and Free file section, there's something called like daily tracker, income producing activity. Those are great resources for you to identify things that you could be doing daily, weekly, monthly. And those things are great, but I actually created something that's very specific to me because I have a lot of personally enrolled distributors. I'm still a very heavy recruiter. And I also now have a husband and 2 kids. So the way that I worked my business when I first started this journey, it's almost impossible for me to do that again. So when we go back to talking about seasons, if there's a season in your year where the kids are off to grandma's, that's where you want to kill it. There was a season in my life where I got to just truly focus on this business. Now that I don't have, that open wide lifestyle, I have to readjust my business so that I can still be successful. So I realized that for me, instead of me thinking that every single day has to be perfectly balanced, and what I mean by that is every single day I expect myself to be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect enroller, the perfect leader. That's just unrealistic. It's very unrealistic to think that every single day you're going to excel in every area of your life. So instead, I give myself a little grace and I say, in certain seasons, certain things are priorities, and that's non-negotiable. So I know that this time of year is the busiest time of year for It Works. These couple of months in the beginning of the year really sets the tone for the financial freedom that my family experiences. My husband knows that, my mom knows that, my friends know that. So that means that every weekend I'm pretty much doing parties. That means in the spring, pretty much every night I'm doing calls. All day I'm doing calls. There's not a lot of kid birthday parties. There's not a lot of Sunday dinners at my mom's house. There's not a lot of trips, girl trips. I don't do any of that in the first and second quarter of the year. And I do that and I really put 100% into my business during this season because I know come summer, I want to be able to create balance in my life by having that season where my family is the priority. So every Saturday isn't wrap parties in the summertime. I am going to my mom's house every Sunday in the summertime. I am taking girls trips with my friends. I am, having more time with my kids and creating more of a family balance. And, And even if, say, things didn't go well in the first half of the year, oh well, because I've already committed to creating balance in my life by developing these seasons that are in agreement with everything that I have going on, right? So that kind of gives me another fuel to kind of get that 90-day run in at the beginning of the year, because I look forward to being able to not have to be on 10 with my business in the summertime. And then in the fall, I kind of, you know, bring it back to 80%. And then in the holiday season, I give a little more time to my family. They're more priority. And so you kind of figure out what that looks like for you. But I was going to say that I actually created a checklist for myself that, don't even ask me to share it with you because it's literally for me, but I will go over with what's on it so that you can create one for yourself. So I created this on Canva in like their presentation section. And it said at the top, it has the affirmation, I am Alena Conley, Black Diamond. And then it says habit, consistency, and accountability. So these were the 3 things that I wanted to focus on in my business this year. And so I fill this out every single week. So in the corner, like I said, I start out with the goals. So the goal is, you know, how many loyals I want to get, how many distributors I want to get, and then I work backwards on that. And so I've already like put bubbles out because that shows how many times I want to do certain tasks. All right. So I do daily 30-minute follow-up sessions. So I like to work in batches. So what that means is that, you know, if I'm doing follow-ups, that's all I'm doing. I'm not checking notifications. I'm not checking emails. I'm not talking to nobody on the phone. I literally will put my phone on airplane mode, and for 30 minutes, I will respond to follow-ups from my Squarespace leads. I'll respond to messages on my Instagram. I may check back in with distributors who I didn't hear back from, whatever. For 30 minutes every single day. And the night before, I find time on my calendar because it changes every day for that 30-minute window, okay? Also, I do daily leader or newbie check-ins, okay? So every single day, I need to either be doing check-ins with my newbies, seeing what's going on with them, scheduling calls with them, or checking in with my leader. So literally, that's just me popping in on my chats, okay? That's not a super hard task. It's literally me just kind of putting, you know, a good word, seeing what's going on, and then I'm on to the next thing. And I have 7 dots there because I do that every single day. Every single day, I want to be adding to my hundreds list. And y'all, give me 2 seconds because I need some water. 2 seconds.
In case you guys are wondering, I'm drinking our brand new ketones, and they're really good. It's my birthday week, so I want to put everything in a wine glass. It's mental.
You don't get a whole birthday week. You get one birthday day.
I get a whole month, Daddy dear.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
All right, sorry. I have like on and off acid reflux, and sometimes I'll be feeling like I'm about to die. So I was about to die just then. Okay, so then I add to my hundreds list. So right now, how I'm really adding to my list is still through Instagram, but mainly I'm doing it through my stories. So I'll go in every day and look to see who are people that are viewing my stories. And typically it's like the same people, but you know, it'll normally be a few more people trickled in there. And so I'll add those people to a physical list where I can keep up with who's keeping up with me. I do daily personal development. So that's the next thing on here. So that's right now, it's like a devotional that I'm reading through the Bible app. And then I also listen to a podcast episode like every other day from different people. I do 20 minutes of follower engagement every single day. So that once again, it's me sitting down for 20 minutes and just going through, liking, commenting, answering DMs. Typically, I do that in the evening right before I go to bed. Here 4 times a week I do an Instagram story about the business or a product. So I do stories every single day, but at least 4 times out of the week I'm including some type of product. I'm talking about some type of opportunity call that's coming up. I'm inviting them to some type of in-person event, or I may just go on some type of rant about why everybody needs to like get information and join my team. It just depends on my mood. 2 days out of the week, I'm enhancing my systems. So this means that I may, be researching how to grow my email list or how to use Facebook bots, which is gonna, like, some of y'all gonna be like, what is that? But basically, how can I streamline my life? And so every now and then I go and find stuff to do that. Once a week, I try to do a Facebook Live. Once a week, I try to do an in-person or virtual party. 3 times out of the week, I focus on customer retention, which is really just me sending either out an email, checking in on customers, sending out some cards, or talking in my loyal customer community and giving them some insight. Once a week, I do content creation for prospects. So this basically means coming up with cool ways for people to engage in something. So it might be a webinar, or it might be a blog post, or it might just be an Instagram story. I'm coming up with something new that my prospects would be interested in. 2 days out of the week, I make sure that I'm actually going out to go blitz. So that means not just living the blitz, which I do anyway, but like literally going out for an hour to pass out cards. At least once a week, I do an opportunity call or a Zoom. And then at least once a week, I spend some time doing some recognition. So that may be in the form of me texting people that are killing it. That may be in the form of me posting it. It just depends. These are all of the things that create time management and organization in my business. Hope that helps.
Yes, love. Thank you so much. It did. It really helped. So we wanted to move on to our next question. And this one is primarily to discuss your onboarding. Okay, so we talked a little bit just now when you were talking about your time management, your onboarding and things like that. But share with, I guess, some of our new team members and the team members that have just joined the Young and Free within the last year, how we've evolved and how you've evolved with adding your new team members versus how 3 years ago, when Shaquita and I started and things like that, just to be able to pinpoint the importance of the systems and things that are in place.
Yeah. So I actually did an entire YouTube video on this. So I encourage you guys to go and check it out, just for the sake of time. But what I will say is that one of the things that I got wrong, in my opinion, in the beginning was I onboarded everybody the exact same way. So basically what that meant was they joined my team, they got an email that was 20 pages long, they got a video that was 2 hours long, and most of the times they would come back feeling super overwhelmed, or they would just not call me back because they're like, wait a minute, this was more than I thought it was going to be. And so my goal is to really make it where, number one, I'm able to identify, based on someone's onboarding experience, who is really ready to work this thing. Now, there are going to be, once again, different levels of commitment to this business. And during the onboarding process, I should be able to identify that so that I can meet people where they are and train them based on what their expectations are. So if someone has expressed to me that they're really just trying to make $500 a month, they're really only willing to commit 2 hours a week to do that, I'm not going to go ham trying to teach them all of these 50 million strategies that I know that they're not going to have time to do, because that's going to end up paralyzing them. So what I do is, first of all, I really want to understand who I'm working with. So I do that in the form of a new distributor questionnaire. So they get an email that gives them some onboarding videos, but it also has a questionnaire that they can fill out. They really get some thinking about what they want in this business, what they want for their health journey, what their personality color is, so that I can then know how to coach them. From there, I have them do the very basic training. So I really believe that when it comes to product knowledge and company knowledge, the company provides us all of those tools. So we don't have to recreate the wheel by doing a video for every single product and this and that. Like, the company provides that. I do have some newbie to Ruby videos that I've done in the past that I'll pop into their welcome email to say, hey, check this out. I give them a link to our team page, youngandfree.com, for like scripts and tips and all of that kind of stuff. But one of the biggest things that I think is important when it comes to onboarding is making sure that you are identifying early on their color personality. So if you haven't done this already, definitely check out the file section of the Young and Free Facebook group and read the document on color personalities. And in that document, it really highlights how to coach different personality colors. And that's something that I think really makes it where my retention is so high with my distributors, or my ability to get them rolling so fast, is because I'm not having them do things that are not in line with their personality. I'm really thinking about how can they really flourish in this business. And a lot of that comes from me listening to who they are, what they're good at, what kind of influence they have, what areas they're going to need to develop, and then create a custom plan just for them. The biggest mistake that you can make is tell every single person that comes in your business to do the exact same thing, when every single person just doesn't have the same life. So take the time. That's nothing else that you do. Take at least 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to really have that get to know you conversation with your distributor within their first week to figure out how to really put together a plan of action for them.
All right, that's good. That's good. I think we had a question about personality chart, the personality chart, and how that really can play a part. Since we're right there, I'm going to jump into that question really quickly. Do you think that there is a number one key personality that will help our team sustain or grow their current business now? Or do you think they all just work together? What would you say to that?
I think that anybody, I think all personality colors can be successful in this business. What I think is kind of like, if you don't have this, you probably not going to be good in this business, is if you are not willing to build relationships. So the number one thing that you need in this business is your list, like your people to call, your people to follow up with, and the only way that you can do that is by constantly making friends, building relationships. The people that come in and say, my family's not supportive, I don't have any friends. The hardest thing for me to do in this business is to coach someone who has that situation and has no desire to change it. So you have no desire to go out and meet new people, to network online. You're still, okay with being this shy person in the house. Shy people flourish in this business as well. The difference is that they have a true desire to serve other people, to help other people. And they realize that the only way they can do that is by getting in front of people and building relationships. Does that mean everywhere they go, they're pitching it works? No, it just means everywhere they go, they're smiling, they're complimenting people, they're making friends with people they're sitting next to at the bar, in the car, in the Uber, at the airport. If you've never been the person that talks to the person sitting next to you on the plane, you got to become that person in this business, and the person that's willing to not only, remain coachable around relationships, but the person that understands that in itself is a skill set, and you have to take the time to develop that skill set. And it's not something that you could just read about. That's one of the things that you cannot just read about how to build a relationship. You have to start actually putting it into practice so that you're not socially awkward, so that you know how to start conversations, you know how to make people laugh, you know how to engage. And the only way you do that is by doing it regularly. And so I think that, that's something that both of you all have done really well. And that's constantly build your relationships, meet people wherever you go, online, offline. The person that's not willing to do that is going to have a really hard time in this business.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm thinking within our last 5 minutes. We want to touch really briefly on, we have a few vets that have been in here a year. They understand what this season is about, and now it's time to hit the ground running. So touch on customer retention and some of your aha moments and things like that that could probably help them either go back to get customers, or what you do to retain the customers that you already have. And then our last question, everyone, I'll just kind of give a synopsis before, so that we, in interest of time, is that with being in the business and things like that and leadership, what are some non-negotiable leadership qualities as we transition from either being distributors to executives, diamonds to doubles to triples, things like that? What would you say are something that's non-negotiable if you're trying to transition into that leadership role that you want to take with your business?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so first of all, when it comes to customer retention, I think that this is something that I did not pay attention enough to in the beginning, because all I kept thinking was enroll more, enroll more, enroll more. But really, you could have thousands of customers, and if you're really servicing them, more so making sure that they are getting results, they will constantly come back. That was something that I just realized, that I was signing so many customers, and then I would check in on them and say, hey, send me your pictures, send me your results. And they would be like, oh, girl, that those boxes of wraps are still sitting on my counter. I haven't even opened them. And so my biggest thing was, how can I get these people really using these products, really using them consistently? Because then that snowballs into just this crazy business, because now people are obsessed with using the products. A lot of them end up becoming distributors, or they're sending you referrals. They're talking about it. They're sending people your way. And so what I started doing was, I do an email that's literally just, the subject line is just, look who's getting results. And a lot of times it's either my picture, my customer's pictures, my distributor's pictures. And I just simply put the picture, I say what product they use, and I say, to get similar results, order these products here. Not too wordy, not too pitchy, not too salesy, but something about those images, people realize, oh, dang, I have those products at home. Or, man, I have one of those products, let me get the other ones. And when I can get my customers getting results, they're here for a lifetime. So that also means that I got to stay in front of them, And so I think that now that we have, the What the Fit app for them to really engage with recipes and products. If you have Facebook communities, that's the number one way to keep your people all in one place, to pop in there every week and give them new ideas, new tips to get best results. It's going to keep people, keep you top of mind, and then making sure that you're getting those results constantly, so that your customers are always looking to you and being inspired as to what they can do next. So that's a great way to, retain people, is get them using the products, get them using, getting results, and creating that residual from their referrals. And then as far as leadership non-negotiables, I think that, when it comes to leadership with this business, it's one thing for you to master the basics, which is getting customers and getting distributors. But then the next level is really you being able to teach someone else how to do that. And that's an entirely different skill set. One skill set is you being consistent, you following up, you learning communication. And then the other skill set is, how do you get other people to bring their best selves to work? And there are a ton of books on that. And so you got to realize, oh, I have a new skill set to learn. I need to know how to properly communicate with people. I need to understand personality traits. I need to understand personality colors. I need to, understand how to get people fired up without having to be like an overly motivator. So one good book for that is 21 Laws of Teamwork, 21 Laws of Leadership, stuff like that is a really good book to read on teamwork and getting people to understand that you value them as an individual, but they are collectively a part of something great. And when people know that they're a part of a movement, they tend to show up a little bit more, because they're not just, doing work for themselves. They're being recognized for the good work that they're doing by themselves. But when they become a part of a greater number, they show up. So really embracing what that takes for them to get that vision and see that you respect them and you want to coach them one-on-one, but that you also need them to make this the team that you want to be, is going to be a game changer for all leaders. You muted.
I would say that's good. That's
I was
good.
say, right. We both were. But thank you. We did have a couple more, and we'll just kind of powwow with you, the three of us, and get the answers to that and get that out to the team. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on. I know everybody was blessed, just like Shaquita and I were. Anything else we want to do before everybody jumps off?
No, I mean, we got less than a minute. So thank you guys. I hope that you got some pearls from Alena tonight. And we just want to go forth and make this the next triple diamond team. Because here we come, baby. Push 90 days. Let's go.
Y'all know what I say.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.